So, it's Tuesday morning of the second week of the UN Conference on Climate Change, and here I am in the media centre finally, after a gruelling ordeal yesterday. I spent 9 hours getting accreditation yesterday, and that's absolutely crazy because I had pre-registered for the conference, as had all of the other delegates who are here. Yesterday what happened was, well, I suppose you could only really describe it as a complete organisational breakdown. Hundreds of people were left standing outside, freezing in the cold, waiting to see if they would be allowed to register for the conference. I arrived at about 8:30 yesterday morning, and I didn't actually get into the building until 4:30, and I think it took me probably a couple of hours after that to actually make it through the registration process. Now, apparently what happened was the UN gave accreditation to over 45,000 people to attend COP15, and the Bella Centre reportedly can only actually handle 15,000 people at any one time. Outside were journalists from the BBC World Service, CNN, New Scientist, Nature, also lots of delegates, but mostly were representatives of NGOs, and that was really the crux of the problem. More than 15,000 representatives of NGOs registered for this conference, and yesterday the UN decided to clamp down on this. They basically said, okay, we just can't let that many NGOs in. So allegedly, they're going to restrict the number of NGO representatives to 1,000 by Thursday and to 90 on Friday, which is causing outrage among the people who've come far and wide to be here. So when I finally got in yesterday at 4:30, many of these people were still left outside waiting in the cold.
I'm here representing Colorado State University. We are coordinating a project for the Global Environment Facility, which is looking at producing a system for sustainable land management projects to estimate their carbon benefits. I came here at 9 o'clock and queued for 4 hours. I got cold and had to leave, and now I've come back again to try to queue to get in again.
My name is Dave Blakeney. I'm a national representative with the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, and I'm here for two reasons. Personally, I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I want her to have a better Earth than the one that exists now. And organizationally, we're here to make amends with the Global South because we know the North has basically its wealth and its big cities and everything have been built on the backs of Indigenous people and colonization, and we have a historic debt. And speaking of that, I mean, it's really remarkable, the line of the queue here today. We've been waiting for hours and hours and hours, and it seems to me if this were a shopping mall, we would be right through. If this were a rock concert, we'd be right through. But when it comes for the climate, it seems that human beings still aren't the priority.
I'm not sure whether those two people managed to get in yesterday, and I'm sure that many of the people who were in the queue with me didn't. A lot of the frustration came from the fact that there was no rhyme or reason to who they were letting in or why they were letting people in. So apparently they have their act sorted today, and at least press are being fast-tracked through the system. I'm off now to a UN press conference to find out what's happening on the negotiations from Ivo de Boer, but keep checking our blog, Climate Feedback, for updates. I've just returned from the UN press conference, where one of the reporters asked UN officials about the ruckus outside yesterday. Surprisingly, UN Climate Chief Ivo de Boer took personal responsibility for the incident.
I think part of the problem that we're facing here is that you can't fit size 12 feet into size 6 shoes. We have a conference centre which, for fire safety reasons, can accommodate 15,000, and we have 46,000 who want to be here, to be in this, to witness it, to have their voice heard. And that is physically impossible and unsafe. I suppose we could have stopped the registration when we reached the 15,000 mark, but our thinking was people come in, people go out, people come for the first week, people come for the second week, so let's make sure that we register as many as possible, but we can't guarantee that everyone will be able to get into the building when they want to get into the building, because that would be unsafe. I think that people are spending an inappropriate amount of time queuing outside. I think that is very bad, and I'm responsible for that.
In summary, de Boer's defence of the incident was that the UN decided not to cap delegates at 15,000 on the basis that not all people would want to attend all of the conference. It seems they may have been wrong on that one.
Want to put your head through it?
Well, I'll hang myself if this goes wrong.
Enough rope there to do that.
At the beginning of the press conference, UN Climate Chief Ivo de Boer walked in carrying a life ring saying, "Act now, save lives." Presumably the implication was that ministers will need to be extremely focused in the next 2 to 3 days if Copenhagen is to see a strong political deal.